I should have no expectations from you. I should know it's all sad. I should have no expectations of you, like Jack said, which you painted black. I thought when I left you there, that you'd always be running back. I should have no expectations of point of view, like Jack said. I should have painted it black. Yeah, I thought when I left you, it was just a sign that I was sad. And somehow you get my point of view, and you come running back. I should have no expectations from you. I should know that it all turned out sad. I thought you'd get my point of view, and you'd understand that. I thought when I left you, it was just a matter of fact. You don't understand
This is Family Electric Ghost, and this episode is You Never Did Care Much at All. This is continuing in our Dark Ghost tradition, that aborted album from 2017, which we have a playlist out there for Dark Ghost Volume 1. Now, Dark Ghost Volume 1 came out of the wreckage of To Infinitum, where the band pretty much broke up. All Control K and myself don't speak together anymore, and the project stands as what we worked on at that time, which is a really awesome electronica trance record. It's the only work we ever did. We never got to do anything else. We had disagreements and argument, and we never patched it back up. Dark Ghost was my attempt to kind of take that wreckage and try to reconcile it in my mind. And it had the song Sonic Twin and Dark Ghost Souls You Never Moved Toward. Now, we've been, in 2020, revisiting that material and coming up with a new approach to Dark Ghost Volume 2. And a lot of songs are kind of coming together in that spirit. Now, the two songs here still are coming from that kind of recoiling from that broken breakup. And so You Never Did Care Much at All is a real heartfelt song where Josie's basically going into a very kind of psychosexual thing. And, you know, for those of you that maybe don't like the connotations, you know, she's kind of talking about how the sex is kind of pushed it too far. And, you know, she has the term up to the walls as this kind of thing. I was like pushing it beyond what you should push it. And it's, you know, maybe sexually explicit and a little too explicit for some people. And so with this episode, we're going to put down as explicit. But that song, it's a heartfelt song about kind of talking about how somebody, you know, was very passionate, and then it all kind of falls apart. And this is just Josephine's way of expressing a frustration, like a sexual frustration, with kind of being pushed to that point. Not that happened in real life at all. Josie's escapades are her own kind of psychosexual relation to anything that happens. She tends to go into a sexual manifestation of something maybe had no sex in it at all. It's just the way we go with her character. Now, definitely Black, That's Where It's At, is another kind of is a song about remorse and also coming to the terms of a couple ideas. You know, I'm an African American, so being Black is kind of thought of, you know, is thought of as like not, you know, worthy in America. You know, when they talk about all American, well, that never is the image of a Black American. It's always the image of some white American. You look at Mount Rushmore, all you do is see white men. So the idea with definitely Black, That's Where It's At, is kind of owning up to Black as a multiple, you know, ideas or concepts. Like the idea of being Black, you could be dark, and in the Black of a melancholy. So I'm owning that melancholy feeling from the breakup of that situation. I'm owning the fact that in that dark place, like Dark Ghost songs, I'm also owning the fact that I'm Black, and then again, I'm okay with it. That's where it's at. I'm going to own who I am, and I'm not going to feel that that's less than anybody. And it's just as all American as anything, because Americans have been part of America since the beginning, since the Revolutionary War. I mean, the same thing. But the idea is like we should not try to feel that we are stepchildren to the founders. We are with the founders, and we are finally starting to get our recognition, even in the middle of this COVID crisis. So these songs are definitely kind of skewed toward the dark side. So it's definitely Black, but we're owning up to that blackness. We're opening up to the darkness. And we're hoping these songs will be on Dark Ghost Volume 2. Not sure if they'll let us call it Volume 2. Sometimes the streaming services, if you say Volume 2, then they don't like you saying things like that for the title. I don't know why they restrict us, so we might have to do it with Roman numerals or something. Either way, we're going to get it out. We got the playlist on SoundCloud already for Dark Gross Volume 1. These 2 songs are going to stand on this episode. We are doing something different now with StreamYard. We are able to do video podcasts. We did some experimentation. We actually were on a podcast convention talking about how to get guests, and we found out about the platform. What we like about the platform is the ability to merge SoundCloud and YouTube video into a broadcast, and the ability to have up to 6 guests. And then we were going to convert those video podcasts into audio and still put them out through Anchor. And we're probably going to even use Headliner. And we're using Headliner as well, a tool from Spearman. And Spearman we had a history with them. We were actually on there as a podcast back with Rock Tunes. And we did a bunch of shows. He actually came to us back in 2016. And that's how we got into podcasting. We had a bunch of episodes where we talked about our work and our work on our Bandcamp records back in the day. And then we actually put an album together with Lonnie Claire, his band. That is out of print. We're hoping to bring it back. We're on the way to probably putting it back out. We're going to set it up and put it back out through the SoundCloud repost. Because we had a lot of songs on that record we really liked, and we think it needs to get back out. So we're gonna work to get that album back out. So we've got a bunch of projects going on. The fact that we're going to the StreamYard thing, we're hoping to have Ezra on StreamYard, and then it will be on here as Anchor. And then we're also hoping to get Jen Eagle on here. And there's a couple other bands we're going to be talking to that in the future are going to be on both StreamYard and Anchor FM, and then by default, Spotify and Apple. Now, if you are a supporter of the Ghost, please click the PayPal me link and help us out, because we can't tour. And we've got 24,000 listeners, but we don't have any listeners who are actually hitting the subscribe button on Anchor or hitting the PayPal me link. So I would stress that, please, if you listen to this episode and you can donate 99 cents, and then after a month or two stop, that would be appreciated. If you can hit the PayPal me link, that would be appreciated. We do this work because we think indie artists should be interviewed for free. If you can support that and you like what we're talking about here on these episodes about our work, please give us a little support or a lot of support, up to $9.99 through Anchor, and whatever you can afford on PayPal. Thank you very much. This is Fam Electric Ghost signing off. Be safe out there. Wear a mask. Be socially distant. If you're a creative, stay home. Get into your DAW. Get into your DAWless recording. Write some new material, and then call us for a podcast. You can leave a voice memo with your Instagram user ID, or you can contact us with a direct message on our Facebook, which is at Fam Electric Ghost on Facebook. Thank you very much. Fam Electric Ghost signing off. So this is Fam Electric Ghost, and we forgot to mention one of the cool things we did with the construction of these 2 songs. So You Never Did Care Too Much at All. What we did is we took an OPZ and we created, and that's the OPZ from Teenage Engineering, which is a little micro synthesizer. It is a 16-track sequencer, little mini, similar to the OP1, in that it can sample, but it's actually more powerful in terms of its recording capability. The OP1 only has a 4-track recorder. This is a full 16-track step and real-time recorder with step components, which allow you to put interesting modulation capabilities on every step of a sequence. You can do chain patterns and build songs. You can do sampling. You can alter samples. You can take samples in. You can do voice samples with the microphone. You can do it through USB. You can do all kinds of cool, interesting things. And now it seems to have like a scene capability that remembers your scenes, which I didn't see that before, but it seems to have that. So what we did is we took our Morphogene sampler from Make Noise, and we recorded a project, which was a drum loop with bass and cymbal. And the cool thing on the OPZ, you can mute and unmute tracks. So we use this kind of new feature, which we discovered by accident, of like these scenes, and that you can select scenes where certain things were muted and unmuted on the track, and then go through the numbered buttons on the OPZ, which is numbered from 1 to 0. And then you can select that group, and then suddenly some of the things are muted or not muted, which we didn't realize, and that's kind of interesting. So it allows you, when you're recording in real time, which is what we do instead of a DAW-less recorder, as a DAW-less recording band, we used our MX1 Performance Mixer and our Zoom to record this in real time, and we kept on selecting the scenes as we did the recording on the OPZ. Then we actually retook this into the Morphogene sampler and used the controlled voltage to do something really interesting. There's a like an end of like the ESOB, which is like the end of a file, or the end of the track. It allows you to take a CV control to the ESOB, which is to me like the end of the loop, or the beginning of the loop, so you can create this looping. So, and then you can use the morph capability and some other things. So we were driving the modulation through a DFAM into the sampler. We're already using a rhythmic part that was on the OPZ. Then we used the DFAM and the Morphogene and created this very interesting loop that had some aspects of it that were not super tight. Now, in You Never Did Care Much at All, it is somewhat of a tight loop. It repeats, but it's very jazzy, and created the atmosphere for the song. It's very important to the song, which I forgot to mention. Now, Definitively Black, that's where it's at. The one thing with that song is we were able to get even more interesting with it. We slowed down the beat. It's the same sample, but it's slowed down, and then it's got some interesting variability to it coming from the DFAM and the Morphogene, where it changes. And it actually has a set end, where on You Never Did Care Much at All, that track, it kind of continues to loop around. But on Definitely Black, that's where it's at. It actually stops after a short amount of time. And that is very interesting. And it's how it just made the track, super cool to play with. Because we basically create a sample that we play with the sample. And that's what we love about the Morphogene. It allows us to, use it in real-time playing. And it gives us some ability to kind of change what we do. Sometimes we use the Arturia BeatStep Pro. Sometimes we use the DFAM. But if we want to do something really more interesting, and we use the Grandmother as well, because it's got a 256-step sequencer. But using the Morphogene to create these loops is a really cool thing to do. And as a lot of times we don't sample someone else's music to create our samples. We use the Morphogene to sample another instrument, or a song. In this case, as a technique we've used a bunch of times, using the OPZ as the source of our rhythm creation, and then bringing that, and then still using the DFAM to help modulate. So that just gives a little more information on how these songs were composed, as we are a producer, and we think that the OPZ is a really powerful machine. Sometimes we step away from it and we come back to it. These two songs, we really kind of jumped back into it. Last month, we have used the OPZ for maybe 3 songs, and these are the primary songs. Again, these are Dark Ghost Volume 2 songs, as we discussed previously. And we'd appreciate it if you, give us some feedback as a voice memo. Let us know what you think about these songs, and we'll talk to you later. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership, which is what I'm doing right now. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Now download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor FM to get started. Yes, Download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor FM to get started now. Thank you.
I know you never felt anything at all. Even at the ball where you made me crawl. I know you never felt anything at all. Even if it was up to the balls. And now you know you felt it but another that you put against the wall. Am I another that you put against the wall? Another darling you may crawl. I know you never felt anything at all, even when it was up to the balls. Am I another darling you put against the wall to make me crawl? I know you never felt anything at all, darling, doll. I'm just another you put against the wall, and you may crawl. I know you never felt anything at all, even up to the balls. I know you made me crawl in the hall and put me up against the wall, just like all your darling dolls. You make them crawl, just like all your darling dolls. Even if it's up to the ball. No, you never felt anything at all. No, you made me crawl. I know you never felt anything at all, even if it was up to the ball. Just another darling doll that you put against the wall. That is it, and that's all. Waiting for the Cupid ball. You never felt anything at all, even if it was up to the balls. No, you never felt anything at all. I'm just another darling doll you put against the wall. You put against the wall like all your other darling dolls. I know you never felt anything much at all, even when I was up to the balls. I know you never felt anything at all. You made me feel small. You made me feel small. You were 6 foot tall. You made me feel small. Oh, my darling doll. I know you never felt anything at all, even if I was up to the balls. Well, you made me crawl down the sadomasochist hall. I know you never felt anything at all, really, even up to the balls. You made me crawl with all your darling dolls. And then you put my head up on the wall. You put my head on the wall, and like all your darling dolls. You put me on the wall, and like all your darling dolls. I know you never felt anything at all, even up to the balls. And you made me crawl down the sadomasochist hall. And you did it all. You made me crawl down the sadomasochist hall, just like all your darling dolls. And then you daily post and dance home, even if it was up to the ball. I know you never felt anything much at all. You just made me crawl down the sadomasochism home. It's like all your darling gone. I didn't mean anything much at all. You made me crawl. You're down, the sadomasochism home. And if it was up to the ball. Even if it was up to the ball, it didn't feel much at all.